I mean, but you heard stories about guys, being well endowed over the years.
Where's this going?
You heard stories. Come on.
Like the rumor about Patrick Ewing could he'd tape it to his thigh or something like that. But I don't know. Wait a minute. What was that?
You got stories.
What was that?
You're holding back stories right now.
What was that look you just did when I said tape it to his thigh? You was like, hey.
No, I'm saying, what?
I don't know.
Where y'all?
I don't know. Reddit.
What the hell? Reddit? Where you read stuff
It's
like
called
this?
the internet.
Yes, the dark web.
Y'all get off the dark web.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. I'm Pierce Simpson. On today's episode, we'll talk about LeBron James calling a new NBA idea whack, as well as some other topics like we always do. But I'm joined here by Complex Sports editor Adam Caparel. Cap, how you feeling, man?
We're doing good today.
Doing good? You got lighter colors on today.
Yeah, we're lighting it up. UConn's back in the fold. We got our first win in a couple of years. So, I'm feeling good right now. Danny Hurley on board.
So you happy about the new coach?
I'm good right now. I'm feeling good.
He won some money last night. That's all it is. Next Adam Caparel is Mr. Gilbert Arenas. Gil, Adidas out today.
Yeah, I'm going to work out after this.
Are you going to work out or are you going to
I'm actually, it's Thursday, so I'm actually going to get a good workout in.
You're actually going to get a good work. So no creep status where you just sitting there on the fake
Good
workout.
eye workout?
No, I did that Monday through Wednesday. I'm
calling that 24-hour fitness. I'm confident.
They already know.
I'm
me.
like, Gilbert's in there being a creep.
They already know
watching
that.
everything. Fellas, did y'all watch the Cleveland Cavaliers come back against the Toronto Raptors last night in impressive fashion? LeBron James did his thing as he normally does in year 15, dunking on everybody. He made a hell of a pass to Kevin Love in the corner for the game-sealing three. What do we make of that game?
I've said it all year long. There's no threat to LeBron James in the East.
No threat?
There's no threat.
Well,
he spanked through Boston. He beats Toronto. The two teams that's supposed to go to the championship can't beat a struggling Cleveland Cavaliers.
But Raptors were on the second leg of a back-to-back. 2 road games. You don't put any credence to that?
If the playoffs started, Cavs is up 1-0.
You mentioned a great point about the playoffs. Well, the NBA is looking to adopt a potential new idea, according to ESPN, Zach Lowe. And LeBron James had some critical comments about the new proposed deal. ESPN Zach Lowe reports that the hottest proposal involves a 14 tournament featuring the 7th seed, 8th seed, 9th, and 10th seeds in each conference. The 7th seed will host the 8th seed, with the winner getting the 7th spot and the loser facing off against the winner between the 9th and 10th seed to determine the playoff format. LeBron, when asked about this new playoff proposal, he said, no, that's whack. That's whack. Why? You got to earn your spot to be in the postseason. No consolation for finishing last. That's corny. That's whack. To play for what? What are they playing for? So, you mentioned that LeBron has no competition in the East.
He just reminds me of the Instagram video I see where the dude was outside yelling. His idea is whack. The playoffs is whack. They whack.
So
His suit is whack.
LeBron's
His
going off.
idea is whack. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
But it's truth. So if you're the 7th and 8th seed, we're going to fight for 7th spot. And then 2 fuckers that didn't even make the seed, 9th and 10th, gets to fight me, the winner of 7 and 8, for 8th spot.
Yeah.
The fuck is that supposed to do?
It's absurd.
Oh, you find it absurd.
This proposal gets a massive hand wave.
Hand wave? Gil, do you want to do a hand wave?
That was, I mean, that just sounds...
Some English on it.
That just sounds stupid. We fought our asses off to get to the 7th and 8th spot.
Yeah.
And we still have to go again against 2 motherfuckers that's not even close.
Well, maybe this is to placate the Western Conference. Time and time again, we see those teams from 1 to 10 vouching for opportunities to get into the playoffs. You see it time and time again where a 9th seed will win 45 games and not be able to make the playoffs. Maybe this is helping the Western Conference.
But the race in the Western Conference this year, if this plan was implemented right now, wouldn't be that fun. Wouldn't be that enticing. Wouldn't be that exciting.
So you're saying just
because you're not incentivizing teams to win, because if you can just cruise to the 9th or 10th, you're still technically in the playoffs per se and still in the tournament. You need to incentivize teams to win and be better in the regular season. Yeah. You're not doing that by setting up this playoff format. So. Why would the NBA want to allow teams to, if they're so anti-tanking right now and trying to come down on teams not putting out, full throttle effort every single night, how are you going to implement this and, be okay with teams just kind of coasting into a 9th or 10th spot and still being in the playoffs?
Do we think this eliminates taking in the NBA if you have this idea where 1 through 10 could get in the playoffs?
Super tanking, no, the way we're seeing for some teams, but again,
you're
not incentivizing teams to go after it.
If you want to stop tanking, you got to remember, a team is tanking only because of lottery balls, right? So if you take the bottom 3 teams of each East West, that's six teams. You take 12, 13, 14, 15 on both sides. Have them played out in a playoff style, just one and done. The winner of the bottom teams gets the first pick of the
So you want a tournament for the number 1 pick?
Yeah, for the number 1 pick. The winner of the bottoms gets the number 1 pick, the runner-up gets number 2, and then you figure out the other ones. Now that stops them from tanking, because they still have to be good enough. They still have to win out. So you can tank to be the last place, and then if your ass gets barbecued in your bottomless playoffs, you get 5th place.
Can you imagine a championship matchup between the Brooklyn Nets and Phoenix Suns?
But that's what I'm saying. But the winner gets the number 1 pick, so it has nothing to do with power balls at that point. So you can't really fully tank.
Right.
The other thing, too, I hate about this idea is that means 20 teams make the playoffs. That's 2/3 of the league. 2/3 of the league should not be making a postseason run.
It'd be 20 teams with the opportunity.
Yes.
Opportunity.
Yeah. But essentially, you're essentially in a 1-game playoff.
Yeah.
You're in the playoffs.
But no, it's just for those bottom. It's just for the bottom list.
But it's basically kind of a playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But LeBron James.
It's kind of a postseason.
So, I mean, what's going to happen? All the games end on Friday. Does this happen on Saturday or Sunday? And then regular playoffs start on Tuesday? Because there's usually no room anyway for any extra games, because if the game stops on Thursday, the first game is Saturday.
Yeah, I think the regular season ends on a Wednesday this year.
Yeah, but
and then the first game is probably on a Friday.
Yeah.
I think Saturday, but we have to
We have to see the schedule because it adjusted this season. But LeBron James seems to be very much of a traditionalist. He was also against doing away with the conference alignment and having the 1 through 16 potential playoff format. So between these two ideas, do we like the play-in idea the NBA is proposing, or do we like doing away with conference alignment and going with the best 16 teams to compete in the playoffs? LeBron is against both, mind you.
I personally like the reseeding. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do and a good switch up. I know tradition is East versus West, but reseeding and truly having the best teams go at it and see if we can get this year a Warriors Rockets NBA Finals would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because, you play in one style and then for so long, and then you're trying to change. Like players don't like change.
So you like
think about
like it's like, okay, so like say somebody like LeBron, and just like when the new ball, they try to put the new balls in, and players like, nah, Jordan them play with this ball. That's the ball I want to play with. Don't be bringing in no extra, and that's how it is. We want to do what everyone else in front of us did. We don't want no new shit so they can be like, oh yeah, nah, that's your asterisks about your greatness.
Yeah, but you know what you guys are? You're entertainers.
Yeah.
You're there to entertain the people that watch and pay for the product. And you know what? Juicing up the playoff format or just the game itself in that kind of format would completely jazz up people and be hyped up to see how these new matchups would play out and potentially getting a 1-2 matchup of, again, a Rockets-Warriors hypothetically this year.
But I thought what you said about you wanting to emulate what you saw the greats do before you and follow that same, that's the realest conversation, because that's what it's all about. And I think that's what LeBron is saying.
And that's all, but it didn't have nothing to do with, like, no one's grasping the concept of this and that. We're just saying, wait a minute, Magic Johnson them didn't do this. We don't want to do this. Like, you don't change it. Like, we remember, Lakers versus Bird. That was the greatness that we seen. We didn't want to see Lakers versus
Yeah, but it's a very different game back then.
But no, it's the same game. It's the same game.
I mean,
you had a sorry-ass conference and a dominant conference. The best team out of the sorry conference played the best team out of this conference. Like, I mean, how many great teams were with Boston? No one knows. No one remembers. We just know Boston fucking Lakers.
You and I were in diapers. This guy wasn't around.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't, right now is Cleveland versus Warriors. That's going to go down. Of course, everybody wants to see the top 2 teams that they think in the NBA play against each other. But
you already making your NBA Finals pick? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you just said?
What?
You already making your NBA Finals?
Look, I don't know who's going on the West. The East, Cleveland. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. There's not. You need more than one superstar on your team to take out LeBron himself in 7 games. Boston has 1. Toronto has 1.5.
Hey, and you never mentioned too, Boston is hovering around 500.
But they've been hovering. What's so funny? They've been hovering for the last 2 months, but nobody
wants to talk about it.
That superstar's not even in the lineup right now.
Talk about it.
Yeah, but I mean, they have one superstar. LeBron can shut Kyrie down. They can't shut him down. Shutting down LeBron is 25, 6, and 8.
I think LeBron.
That's scary.
LeBron and the Cavs' performance last night was definitely indicative of like, hey, Toronto, I know you want to face us in the playoffs, but this is what we can do whenever we're clicking.
That's the problem.
Moving on to the NFL, Deion Sanders kind of put his foot in his mouth on Twitter when he called All-Pro safety Kevin Byard a fan. A fan. Kevin Byard was drafted out of Middle Tennessee in the third round of 2016 NFL Draft and had the most interceptions in 2017 with 8 and made the Pro Bowl and was named first team All-Pro. Incredible stats, right? When you're a safety in the NFL to make first team All-Pro and lead the league in interceptions. But Deion Sanders called Tyrann Mathieu, friend of the show, mind you, Tyrann Mathieu, friend of the show, who recently signed with the Houston Texans, the best safety in the NFL. Deion tweeted, "How do you make this statement and not include 2 first-team AP All-Pro safeties? Hashtag I need answers." Mind you, Kevin Byard tweeted this to Deion because Deion alluded to Tyrann Mathieu being the best safety in the NFL. Deion, who definitely didn't understand who he was tweeting with, replied with, "You're looking at writers who tell you who's the best. I know who players and former players feel is the best. I rest my case. You continue to be a fan, and I will continue to be the man. Hashtag truth." So before I move on, he called first-team All-Pro safety Kevin Byard of Tennessee Titans a fan, alluded to him being a writer, and I love the fact that he uses his own hashtag, truth. What do we make of Deion Sanders putting his foot in his mouth and calling All-Pro safety Kevin Byard a fan?
Okay, it's Deion. Wasn't Deion a safety?
Deion was corner. Arguably one of the...
I mean, defensive back, but he was a cornerback.
Shutdown corner. Arguably the best ever.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trolling. You know, Deion is about Deion. Deion is about Deion, and that's just how it is, and that's how it's going to be. So he's going to pretend he doesn't know anyone that's not on his level. And that's just how he's always been.
The fan comment definitely got to Kevin Byard because he put out some subsequent tweets after being called that. Yeah, he was pretty pissed off about it.
That wouldn't piss you off?
Yeah, especially if you had 8 interceptions. And
but that's what I'm saying. Deion's just...
Yeah. So Byard replied with, "I never said I was the best, but I'm on my way. You continue to be a fan. I will continue to go to Pro Bowl and being great." He also said, "I am," in all caps, "a current player who watches a ton of film, so trust me, know who's balling and who is not." Talk about being a fan. So as we unpack this, is he throwing shots at Tyrann Mathieu?
I didn't take it that way.
You didn't take it that way?
Okay,
you didn't take it that way? Okay. He's obviously pissed off about this, as he should be.
I'm lost.
What are you lost about?
I'm lost. I'm trying to figure out who's talking to who.
So it's kind of convoluted. It's a lot of different layers.
Deion shut down the communication.
Exactly.
This is all
Kevin Byard. Yeah. This is all Byard at this point.
And as far as Deion's concerned, like just don't talk about it, ignore it, it'll go away.
I mean,
the George Costanza theory.
But are retired players actually watching film?
No.
They're not?
No. You're watching the game. You're not sitting here breaking down plays and you're just watching the game.
Hey, Adam, isn't that their job to watch film?
You would
break
think
down?
so, right? Yeah.
As Deion?
Yeah. If you're an analyst, you don't go back and watch game film to pick out different pieces as you're preparing to, if you're like Deion who covers a game and he does the Thursday night package for the NFL Network and other stuff, and he's on scene, you're not going to break down game films of other teams before that game to know, what guys have been doing, schemes and blah, blah, blah?
Okay. Players they didn't like watching game film when they played. He's not going to watch it when he's being an analyst. All he's doing in the back room, now we chilling. The game's going on. Yeah, Okay, hold on. Call you back. Yeah. So Matthews is, and that's what they do. That's what they said. They just have notes. Someone's giving them feeding notes and blah, 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 and that's how they.
But isn't this hypocritical of Deion, who, in the 90s, was it Tim McCarver in the Braves locker room where he dumped water
Very much
on
so, yeah.
for calling him out and being critical during the World Series? So he got upset at him, but then you completely ignore Kevin Byard's feelings when you call him a fan and allude to him being a writer when this guy was first team All-Pro in the NFL.
I just, older players need to just let that shit go. Like, everyone has a scrapbook, okay?
Yeah.
Even Al Bundy had one. Polk High, scored 4 touchdowns in one game. We already know the story. And that's
married with children.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Everybody knows. We know, okay, Deion, you were great.
Yeah. But these guys get a little sensitive.
We get it. Move the fuck on already.
Are there any former players that pissed you off when you were playing that criticized your game?
I didn't care about the former players. Like, I'm me. Like, if you got a problem with me and you think my game's, stop me now. Yeah. Like, if you're play me one-on-one right now, I don't want to hear about what you were 52 years ago. Stop me right now. If you can't, shut the fuck up. And that's how I was.
I just had a vision of him playing like Charles Barkley one.
Like that's my thing. Like I don't care about who you were 25 years ago. But stop me right now if you got a problem.
But you as a player, obviously knowing the game in ways that we don't. When you hear guys on TNT or ESPN or whatever talking about this and this and that, you can pick out what they're bullshitting about or what
they're delusional.
What do you mean?
Old players are delusional. We think that our generation was the shit.
Yeah.
So if you ask the 2000 players, we're the shit. You ask the 90s players, they the shit. You know? And that's just how it is. We can sit here and argue all day. I can say, well, 2000 is the shit because we had Kobe, LeBron, and MJ, and Shaq, and Duncan. Like, we can sit here and argue all day, and then you can talk about these guys now and say, oh, they too soft, and then they wouldn't last a minute. Yeah, they would last a minute in your league. We adapt. That's what we are. We're players. We're humans. We adapt to whatever's coming at us. But don't tell me at 6'1", 180 pounds, you're going to stop me at 6'4", 220. Stop. Just stop. I don't give a fuck what kind of handshake you had, because in my era where they were the same size, I was cooking that stir fry too. Okay? And that's what makes it funny. It's like all these guys like Charles Barkley, yeah, I would have just put him on his ass. Okay, I'll be shooting 2 free throws. Okay, you got 6 of those. That's 12 free throws. Okay.
You know what's hilarious? Is Kawhi Leonard somehow is watching this? Is like, yeah, I'm gonna cook Gilbert Arenas some more.
Yeah. But that's the funny part. As long as he don't call me out, I'm like, okay, you won. You great.
Let's go have it.
Like we playing 1-on-1. His defense does look amazing now because I can't really do nothing.
One day it's gonna happen.
Go have it.
All right, switching gears here. Have the Hawks been discriminating against white people? And I bring that up because a former Hawks community development coordinator, Margot Klein, who was with the team for 5 years, is suing the organization, and accusing it of discriminating against white people and firing her after she complained about it. So Klein, who is obviously white, filed the lawsuit last Friday under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and is seeking punitive damages and wants a trial. The lawsuit claims that the Hawks External Affairs Director, David Lee, who is black, promoted a culture of discrimination against white people, especially against white women. Lee, according to this lawsuit, hired and promoted less qualified black employees over white people, especially white women. Klein claims that the Hawks ignored her discrimination complaints and instead put her to work under a microscope and gossiped about her and ridiculed her. And she also claims that white coworkers were told not to talk to her or they might lose their job. Klein was fired in March of 2017. Hawks put out a statement yesterday saying, quote, "We take all claims of discrimination seriously and have performed a thorough review of these baseless claims. The case was quickly dismissed at the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission level. We deny those claims and will vigorously defend against them." I will throw it to the black delegation over here.
Hey, you know.
What do you guys make of this?
Finally, someone gets it.
Here.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, let's get another. Hey, get out here.
All right, so I mean, but real talk, do we think that the Hawks?
He's getting ready.
I mean, what do you want from me? What do you want from me?
I'm just.
But this is, all right, real talk though. This is the same organization that dealt with the Danny Ferry issue about a year ago, where he made those, inappropriate, or not inappropriate, but less than nice comments about Luol Deng.
Yeah.
So do we think that the Hawks have some sort of organizational kind of culture where these discriminatory comments are kind of just bandied about all over the place?
I mean, it's a contradiction to her claim if Danny Ferry's was the African comment.
Yes. Yeah.
You got the African comment, and then you had the security guards don't let.
The head of security at Phillips Arena said that they were making it more difficult for
hip hop acts to come
in.
Yeah. So I mean, that's discrimination against blacks right there. So it's like.
And on top of that, you had the owner make racial remarks after Donald Sterling came out. It was an email where he was trying to get more Caucasian people into the arena. There was discriminatory. He decided to sell the team. So the Hawks have a long history.
But I mean, it's it goes against what she's saying, So it's kind of.
I thought when the Hawks came out with a statement and mentioned that we take all claims of discrimination seriously and have performed a thorough review and called the claims baseless, for the team itself to come out and say that. It's
a pretty definitive statement, yeah, for sure.
I mean, all she's going to have is if she has a couple of coworkers in there. But everyone's always, it's that part of that Me Too thing. I'm a woman, I feel discriminated, or laughing at me behind my back. It's the victim role.
I mean, it's
knows?
twofold on her end, but I guess the more interesting question is we saw this come out with the Mavericks. You
Yeah.
know, the whole issue behind the scenes. You guys as players, though, you really have no idea what's going on with the front office, and you guys are kind of really not protected, but you guys are kind of really have no clue or temperature gauge of what's going on with the front office and all the kind of shenanigans and shit going behind the scenes.
With arenas, I mean, we're coming in practicing from, let's say 11 to 1. We're from the garage to the locker room, from the locker room back down the garage. Half of us don't even know what the second floor looks like. If there's a second floor, we don't know where our office is. We don't know if it's in a practice facility. I mean, if you have a arena like Golden State, I wouldn't know if the offices are at the arena or
No, they're
at the Marriott.
they mostly work at a downtown Oakland.
Okay, so you wouldn't, but as players, you wouldn't be going up there, hanging out with those guys.
You guys never witnessed the culture behind the scenes.
No,
what's
you
going on
wouldn't.
with that.
And
unless they work directly with the team, like PR and all that, and they come down in our zone, we wouldn't.
So we mentioned the Hawks' long list of discriminatory allegations. We had the Mavericks culture that recently came out due to a Sports Illustrated article. As a player, if these teams were to offer you a max contract, would these stories play a factor at all? Or
No.
not at all, right?
No, because that's what I said. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
That's
Kinda just
two,
separate.
It's like it's two separate entities.
Yeah.
All right, then on a lighter note, between players, is there ever a line crossed when it comes to making jokes about, race and other things like that?
As a player,
Yeah, between players.
no.
No? Free reign to joke, to clown on some, the players, make it racial and just have fun like that.
Yeah. That's what I said. Athletes have it's a different world. I mean, we've seen all the movies that came out. Remember the Titans and all. We've seen the team themselves are separated because, you're brothers in arms. You're going through the same battle. So you guys, if there's racism going around you, yeah, there's going to be a sprinkle, but there's enough that blends in and, you get to say whatever you want.
Did you have racist teammates? Yeah,
I had pro-black teammates. Where, everything was black.
Right.
We made fun of him. But that's what I said. But you always make fun of the odd.
Yeah.
In the locker room, and that's just the way it is.
But there are definitely different temperatures in different cities. We talk about Boston being a racist town. There's and Utah has the notoriety of being, obviously having a ton of white players and being more, welcoming, if you will, to white.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, all the black people make all the jokes in the locker room. That's just that's just the way it is. It's like that's what I said. It's basketball players, football. I mean, you guys, it's a different atmosphere than what the public.
I think if anything, where the front office and the players would merge more is in the NFL, because we see it time and time again where the front office roles or different scandals that's happening on that side of things bleeds into the field.
I mean, that's what I said. Unless you let it bleed. That's what I said. I remember. I was funny as I remember. I had Dan Dickow. I said, I got the white dude. One for flat. the white. I got the white dude.
Yo, but shout out to Cap saying the black delegation. Another high five.
The black delegation would take over. Yeah,
Paul, like I said,
Hey, fair. Fair for the Hawks organization to do what y'all got to do.
all right, we're going to close things out talking about locker room bragging rights. And by that, I mean Nick Foles and the Eagles. So when they were going about winning Super Bowl 52, two enterprising fans filed to trademark the phrase Big Dick Nick.
Wow.
Which they have been printing on merch and selling despite not having the trademark. And Big Dick Nick, here's a little background of that. The origin of the nickname comes from 2014 when a Reddit user asked Eagles defensive end Connor Barwin in an AMA which Philly player had, quote, the biggest wiener in the locker room. Barwin wrote, perhaps jokingly and perhaps not, quote, doesn't the internet know it's Nick Foles? So, Mr. Professional Athlete. How often back in your day you taken a gander at the other guy's packages?
Where's your father at? If your father was in your life, you don't supposed to ask this question. You don't ask about another man's thing. The reporter should have. Where's his father at for even asking? Out of all the football questions, who has the biggest thing in the locker room?
It was a fan asking the question, by the way, not a reporter.
A woman fan or a dude fan?
I have to go back and look at the thread.
I mean, there's nobody walking around talking about, hey, yo, keep your wife away from him. He's slinging. Like, no one's doing that, man. No one's doing that.
It's just like kind of just mind your business.
I mean,
You just mind your business, man.
I don't know what it's like back in your playing day, but if you go in an NBA locker room these days, these guys aren't just walking around with their dicks swinging in the air. They're covered up with towels. When they get dressed, like, they're staying covered up. Yeah. It's a very awkward situation being in a locker room anyway, watching these guys.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even when we're getting dressed and a reporter is sitting there just looking like, yo, you all right?
Yeah.
It's not one of those things. That's why I said it's.
The worst place isn't even professional locker room. This is the guy at 24 that's using the air dryer to like.
The only time athletes try to show their package off, we already know. If a woman reporter comes in.
And that's so wrong. Should not do that.
Yes. But it's the opposite sex.
They're trying to do their job.
I know they're trying to do their job.
You're harassing them.
I'm trying to do my job too. Trying to do my job too. Show the flame.
Be above it. Be above it.
No, that's not what we do as men. That's what I'm saying.
When
we're in the shower, there's no break it. You better not break your neck past our conversation. Don't you look down. Fucking the soap drop, no nothing. Soap drop, just grab another soap from over here. That's how it works. All right, we go in, we take a shower, we go, the media's there, we trying to hide ourselves.
Where did this conversation go?
Unless the woman comes in, then it's, hey, so, oh, man, it's hot in here.
They're going to have to put 2 disclaimers up.
But it's true.
Complex.
But that's the truth. That's what happens. You shouldn't have.
That's the real athlete talk.
You shouldn't have read that. You shouldn't have read that.
I guess the thing is, like, y'all having full-on conversations in the shower like that?
Yeah.
Get in, get
out. You think we take a shower and not talk about the game? Yo, hey, you crossed that nigga. Oh, yeah, he shook. Or like, damn, motherfucking Kobe gave your ass that work. You know what I mean? You're talking like it's the locker room. Then you got the motherfucker in there who's ever there first. Fuck! And he throwing soap all the way around and shit. Now you got come on, man, I gotta bend down and get that off.
Wait, you have somebody that's throwing? Okay.
You know when someone getting mad,
has ever been a
fight?
Ever been a fight in the shower?
Yep. Who? What team?
No names.
What team?
Okay.
Washington?
They will rename nameless.
Nameless. I heard.
You heard through the grapevine?
Heard through the grapevine.
According to sources?
This would have been around 2002, 2003. One of the players was sleeping with the teammate's girlfriend at the time.
What team is this? You can't say the team?
No.
You were on this team, though.
No, I wasn't on the team.
Okay.
That's what I heard the story. Nah.
Yeah.
Because it was from one team.
So it's probably the Spurs then.
No, it was from one team, and the team got traded. Actually, together.
Later on?
When the guy found out, he sat there, waited till everybody left. The dude was in the shower. He walked in.
Yeah.
All you heard the dude was in there screaming,
Get
him off me, help!
That's the Rockets.
Help!
That's the Rockets, ain't it?
No.
Yeah, it's the Rockets.
The Suns?
I have a feeling.
2002.
Was it a Western Conference team? You can give that up.
You can give that up.
All right, we're going to have to do more digging.
Hey, it
No.
might be. That wraps up the latest edition of Out of Bounds. For Adam Caparell, Mr. Gilbert Arenas, who's talking about all different types of things today. I'm Pierce Simpson. We'll see you next week.
I'm talking about all.
This is what the fans want. The fans want
Fans don't
inside
want
access. They want this inside access.
Look at Nick Foles with the sweat.
Hey, listen, but I mean, it's an honor, I guess. If I don't know.
Yeah.
It is.
You sure it wasn't a metaphor?
You want to be Big Dick Gill?
If it's a metaphor. Like, he's big dick on the campus. He's the big dick on campus. He's like the dude.
He might be onto something because Nick Foles was then the starting quarterback. Carter Barber was a defensive end there, so maybe he was just big enough.
That's usually how it's. Oh yeah, he's big dick on campus. He's the head honcho.